we go again. Chelsea are back in action tonight under the lights at Stamford Bridge in the EFL Cup against Southampton. Another chance for our Chelsea youngsters potentially to impress. Another opportunity to go again on the forefront. All competitions, they're all up for grabs and we're after them all. Hello and welcome to Matchday Live. I'm in the company of Zach and Abby. Team, we well, we good?
Yes,
yeah, not bad,
really good.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you for asking, mate. I'm well, thank you. Let's have a little look at what's coming up on the show today. It's going to be a busy one. We'll bring you team news exclusively, the first place to bring it to you very, very soon, so stick around for that. We've got the social as well, then warm-ups live on the fifth stand. That's an exclusive live commentary of Chelsea and Southampton in EFL Cup action. And then at 20 to 10 this evening, after full-time, we will do the Pulse, having a chat about, hopefully, Chelsea in the next round of the EFL Cup. Let's hope anyway. We're going to have a big chat as well about the academy and stuff like that tonight. It's going to be exciting because we saw a lot on Saturday, a lot of chat after Saturday. It kind of got lost a little bit, the fact we won 7-0 on Saturday, because something that happened elsewhere in the Premier League the day after. But it's OK. We'll get to that. Definitely we'll get to that. Let's get on to team news then straight away, shall we? Let's get into the team news. The team that Thomas Tuchel has selected for Chelsea this evening. As you'd expect, quite a few changes from the team on Saturday. In goal, Kepa, Arrizabalaga are back three, we think, of Trevor Chalobah, Malang Sarr and Marcos Alonso captains the side this evening. Reece James and Callum Hudson-Odoi, we believe, occupying the wing-back roles with Ross Barkley, Mateo Kovacic and Saul in the middle, and Hakim Ziyech and Kai Havertz up top. Immediate reactions to that then, Abby, what do you think?
Happy to see Sarr in the team again. Obviously, he did really well in his Premier League debut. Also, a big day for Saul as well. I feel like he's not quite made as much of an impression as we expected. He's had 4 appearances now, so it's a huge game for him, one where he can really make his mark. Also happy to see Barkley, in the team as well. He's put in a couple of great performances recently. And the rest of it's quite a strong team. The rest of it's kind of probably what I expected.
Saul's the one, isn't it, Zach? Because he's, it's similar to a lot of players. Perhaps take a little while to bed in and settle. And he's coming to a new country. And I know we said this last year about Havertz and Werner coming to a country in the middle of a pandemic. We kind of still are. We still have restrictions and stuff like that. So it's going to take time for him to settle. Tonight could be a good opportunity for him to get exactly that, get a good performance under his belt.
Yeah, indeed. He also looked much better as well in his second game for Chelsea compared to his first. And you kind of expect, he was thrown in essentially after just a couple of days, essentially, or weeks after meeting the boys, and so it's always going to be quite rough. You don't quite understand the system just yet. Thrown in, and kind of hoping to do a good job. And as I said, the next game he seemed to do a bit better, and I kind of expect this game as well to kind of see him a lot more comfortable. He's now been with us for a couple of months now, or a month and a half, I should say, or about a month. I'm trying to think.
Along those lines.
Along those lines. Yeah, exactly. And so he'll understand the system and what's expected of his role a bit more, because it takes time. It takes a lot of time to understand what Tuchel wants from you. I just saw as well Vales on the bench, one of the academy boys. Really good to see him. And it's the first time I've also looked at the squad and gone, we could also be doing 4-3-3. If I'm the Southampton manager right now, looking at that, I don't know what to expect.
We'll get the reaction of Jason Kanté and Ben Andrews on the formation and stuff like that in a minute, because you're exactly right. There is a couple of things in there. Reece James potentially could be in a back three instead of Marcos Alonso, and Callum could be the other side. But there's flexibility and fluidity within this team, which is something that Thomas Tuchel's spoken about. Players that are able to play in a number of positions. We've got these options, and it's a good opportunity to see that tonight.
Oh, we're in such an amazing position, aren't we? Obviously, against Norwich, we were like, oh, our strikers are out. And then it's like, hang on, not a problem. 7 goals, The flexibility and the depth of this squad is just incredible, and that's why we're one of the best teams around right now.
It's a really good point as well, isn't it? Because Mason Mount scores a hat-trick at the weekend, and you've got the opportunity to take him out. And like Abby mentioned, you're bringing Ross Barkley, who's been brilliant recently. You're bringing Saul, who's played in Champions League finals and countless caps for Spain and won leagues with Atletico, and Kovacic in there, who's arguably been Chelsea's most impressive player this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad midfield, to be quite honest, if that's considered your kind of reduced one, or some players that haven't got a lot of minutes, that's for sure. I think, for some of these guys, as you said, Saul and Barkley, this is the kind of proving ground here. They've had some minutes in kind of the Premier League games, and it's not to say that the EFL Cup is a lower game, not at all. But I think for these guys, it's to prove to Thomas Tuchel that they can fight for their position in the first team. They can try and make an argument for why they should be starting on Saturday or next week in the Champions League or so. It'd be really interesting interesting for those guys, yes. So all Malang Sarr as well, who had a brilliant game against Brentford. These games are kind of showing for the manager that, you know what, when you need me or when you need another option or to be called upon, I'm there, I'm ready for you.
And also, you know, Kepa in goal. I mean, the last time we saw him, he kept a clean sheet. You know, he's played a couple of times this season while Mendy was out. We're all very aware of the African Cup of Nations at some point is going to take Edouard Mendy. And the fact that you've got Kepa that can come in and can maintain match sharpness and is, on his day, one of the best goalkeepers in the league still, you know, a huge amount of confidence you take from that. Yeah,
exactly. He's world class. And if you saw the clip that was out on socials this week, it was some goalkeeping training drills. Nothing was getting past Kepa.
With the bin lids,
yeah,
sort of
did you
thing.
see that? Yeah. Honestly, unstoppable. I mean, also, if it goes to penalties today, we've got the guy. We've got this down.
We absolutely have. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get the boys involved. Jason Cundy and Ben Andrews are up on the gantry for us. Boys, talk us through the shape, because I think that's the one thing that Chelsea fans are asking and trying to work out who's playing where and what the shape's looking like.
Well, first thing a few people were saying was he's going to go 4 at the back, isn't he? But he doesn't really do that, and we don't think he's going to do that. He did it for a Leeds game that was 0-0. He did it for a bit against Wolves in his very first game, but that was only when he was chasing it. He didn't start with it. Jason, with 3 at the back, it's just a question of whether it's Alonso or James who becomes that third, and which side, therefore, Callum will play as a wing-back.
Yeah, the circle that I couldn't square was, why would you put Sarr and Chalobah together? 2 very inexperienced players playing in a 2, or a 4, essentially. I didn't quite get that. I couldn't answer that question. So that's what made me feel as though it was going to be a 3, a 5. So those 2 at the back there, it kind of leaves you a little vulnerable, doesn't it? Sarr's, anyway, his 3rd game in a Chelsea shirt. Chalobah, as brilliant as he's been, again, very inexperienced. So that's why I've gone for the 3 at the back. I thought that maybe Alonso may come along and partner the 3 at the back, and then Chalobah and James. But you can also go the other way. Chalobah can go play left or right. So there are options in there, and he can pretty much pick the side that he wants, depending on. And this is the conversation we're having. Imagine what Rav Hudson-Odoi is doing right now.
So, yes, we hear it's 3-4-3 with the ball and 3-5-2 without it. That is the gossip. There's some big players, or players who want to become more regular, for whom this is big. Ross Barkley hasn't started a game under Thomas Tuchel yet. He does tonight. Sal's only had 2 starts, and that one went very quiet very quickly, didn't it? And Hakim Ziyech, for me, completing that trio, Jason, as someone who looked great in pre-season, got injured against Villarreal, and then in the Super Cup, and not really seen much of again. Yeah, so they get starts. Ziyech, Barkley, Sal, take your pick there. We'll talk about all of them. OK, all 3 need to put in a performance. Because I think that all 3 of those players right now, their careers, not saying defining on this game, but this could go a long way. We saw what happened to Sal on his debut when he got taken off at half-time. What's happened to him since? This squad is so fierce. The competition for places is unbelievable. You cannot afford to put in a below 6%, 6 out of 10 performance in the first half, because if you do, there's a chance that you'll get taken off. All 3 of those players now, and they're the ones we've got to watch, have to put in one of their best performances to get on the radar of the manager, because there is so much traffic in front of them to get in the starting 11 right now. And look, Ross, I see Ross come off the bench. I thought Ross done very well, actually. Looked lively, looked sharp. Ziyech, equally. Saul needs to put in a performance. £5 million we paid as just a transfer, just for the loan fee alone, with obviously a view to buy. But this squad is relentless. It's absolutely relentless. They have to put in a performance today, and today is their chance. Where it's a bit thin just right now, of course, is up top. So fingers crossed that nothing happens to Kai Havertz tonight, because at the moment he's the only bloke who can play centre-forward. Armando Broja out on loan with Southampton. He's their top scorer, but he can't play tonight. Just a couple of quick things. Obviously, no extra time. I'm sure you all know that. Straight to penalties. There's no VAR. 5 subs now in the Carabao Cup. And the draw is on Saturday for the next round. Let's hope we're in it.
Absolutely right. Yeah, cheers, boys. I mean, that's exactly it, isn't it? In terms of, you hope that games like this go without injury, and you hope the games like this go as kind of as smoothly as you'd like. Straight to penalties, as Ben was saying there. So you hope it doesn't get to that point. But if it does, it's not like you've got another 30 minutes in the legs. You just kind of want to get rounds like this out of the way, get yourself into the last stage of the competition, then start competing. Yeah, no, the competition has really helped itself with that. You know, I think for a lot of the managers, they were, with the amount of games they're playing at times, and that's not even to mention the fact that we might be going and playing the Club World Cup and stuff like this, and some players of the AFCON and all this kind of stuff. There's so many football games. And so to be able to take a possibility of an extra half an hour out, I think really, really helps. But yeah, no, they hit the nail on the head there. I think even I kind of forgot about Hakim Ziyech, to be quite honest. I mean, they mentioned it. His pre-season was
unbelievable. And he's been so unfortunate because every time he gets back into that side and he gets an injury or he picks up that shoulder injury like against Villarreal. So he's another one, yeah, that could, if he has a good game today, or could be in the front mind of Thomas Tuchel.
Zach's absolutely right. Hakim Ziyech is one. He scored a hat-trick against Peterborough in the pre-season. He scored 2 worldies against Spurs here, didn't he, in the 2-2 game as well. He looked like he was starting to find form, and he feels like one of those players that he's not had the best of luck with injury. Every time it looks like he's getting back to his peak, then it's a little knock or a little something that happens. Tonight could be exactly like Jason said. You know, players are playing for an opportunity now in a squad that's feeling the loss of 2 centre forwards or attacking players. If Hakim Ziyech has a good game tonight, puts in a good performance, all of a sudden he's top of the pile to start the weekend potentially. Yeah,
it's absolutely huge for him. You know, we've seen real flashes of brilliance. I mean, he's got an absolute wonderful effort. Some of the finishes, as you mentioned, are absolutely world class. He's not just, you know, not really gone on a run yet, not really had the consistency due to a bit of bad luck. So tonight for him is absolutely huge. And I think if he does what we know he can do, he could be back in the side.
Obviously, the second time I played Southampton already this season. In the first game, Ross Barkley had a massive impact when he come off the bench. He played the pass to Azpi's assist for the goal. And he's another one, you know. For a lot of people, it felt like Ross Barkley was potentially, you know, maybe 6th or 7th down the pecking order. Every time he's been given an opportunity this year, he's taken it. And the manager's obviously trusted in him because gets his first start under Tuchel tonight, like Ben was saying. And he's one of those players, he feels like he's getting back to his best.
Yeah, and you know what? You have to give him a lot of credit because it can't be easy at times to sometimes see these younger guys obviously performing so well and finding it hard to not get minutes when you know that you're also a guy that played for England a couple of years ago, right? And we know he's got the ability. But yeah, every time he's been brought to this pitch so far this season, there's always been a positive from him. He's always tried, or he's always, as you said, provided the pre-assist or such before a goal. Again, against Norwich when he came on, I think he was also very lively, and that's the best you can do, right? Like when you come on, if you're coming on in a situation against Norwich where you're already dominating the game, to be quite honest, there's not much more you can do when you're 7-0 up or 6-0 up at that point. But when you're coming on in a game where maybe you're drawing or you're just about winning, whatever, you can add so much to that. First start under Thomas Tuchel today means that Thomas Tuchel wants something big from him, and if you can show that, then he might climb up the ranks with you.
Absolutely right. Quite a lot of reaction coming in, rightly so. Make sure you have your say. Send your tweets in about Chelsea this evening. Let's have a little look at some of them. Seems like a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Like Ben and Jason were saying, we think it's probably going to be a 3-5 and then back to a 5, but potentially could be so fluid it could change that, couldn't it? Dan McCarthy, opportunities ever, who will take theirs? Great point.
Spot on.
It's a really good point, like we were saying about so many. Barkley hat-trick, let's go. Now, we had a tweet similar to this on Saturday about Mason Mount. So I hope, Rani, that we're coming back to yours at full time. And you're absolutely bang on. No man, same formation. 3 at the back, Reece, right centre back, Hudson-Odoi, right wing back. Could potentially be that. Ben, again, the fluidity within the squad. It could be so many different options, couldn't it? Quite a lot of interesting takes as well. And I suppose, like Jason was saying, the big question there, Abby, is if we're questioning it as Chelsea fans that watch them every week, Ralph Hasenhüttl was having the same question in the dressing room. Yeah. He's probably got so many different boards, so many different names and positions up on the board. There's no way you can plan against that.
Oh, I imagine he's got a right headache on. You know, what is going on? We don't even know what's going on. So as you say, how's he going to kind of come up against us? It's definitely going to be an interesting match, isn't it? For sure, tactically.
Really tactically, it's going to be interesting because they've rested quite a few as well. No Tino Livramento in their side. He's been Brozier's obviously the one that is on loan from Chelsea. He's unavailable this evening, so they're rotating as well. But again, for a team like Southampton, players are taking their opportunity as well. This is a chance for them to stake a claim to play in the Premier League. So it's as much there for the taking for them as it is for us tonight.
No, for sure. And I think, personally, I quite like Hasenhüttl. I think he's a really good manager who, again, tactically, it is also quite averse and quite high up there in the Premier League.
Loves to shoot as well.
He does love to shoot a little bit too much. A little bit too much. And he's no, it's nice to see. Obviously, when they beat Manchester United, you saw how the emotions were for him. But they've got a squad up there which still shouldn't be kind of laughed at or looked at as easy. Like every game with a Premier League club or any professional club, to be quite honest, isn't easy. I think people can sometimes look at these games in the EFL Cup, in the Carabao Cup, or even the FA Cup, or whatever it may be, and think, oh, that's, you know, we can put out the young boys and, you know, we only need to half turn up and get a result. That's just not what it's like nowadays. And when you've got a manager like Hasenhüttl who's going to be telling them, they would have prepared in some way, shape or form for a full-back if Chelsea go to 4 at the back. But very, very true, like they will be questioning what we'll be doing because we just don't know.
Absolutely right, absolutely right. Time for the social then. And off the back of the weekend, we thought we had to do this. Cobham / the Academy being on absolute fire. It's been unbelievable recently. So that's the theme of the show. Obviously, we've got lots to get through, including the trending topics of the week. We've got a very cool quiz. Chelsea confessional as well, which is very interesting. Zach's been out and about, which you'll see a little bit later. And in case you missed it, a little bit of a lighter look across the look of social media from this week. So the agenda is obviously based around the Academy because they've been phenomenal recently. Our show and tell for this week is... Well, it's very recent because it's 3 goals from the weekend. We've all picked our favourite goal from this weekend, and they're all Academy players, of course, the goals we've picked. So let's start with that. Show and tell, going to go first. I'll tell you what, Zach, you can go first, mate.
None other than the man that went on to go and get a little hattie, his first professional hat-trick for Chelsea, that is. I mean, this strike here, it's really well worked from Callum Hudson-Odoi. And then it comes out. Lovely little flick from Jorginho. Now, this finish is not easy. It's not easy. He's not got a run-up or anything to put any kind of power through it. Turns the body, kind of not side foots it, but goes across the ball, clips the post and goes in. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, right now, Mason Mount is becoming the absolute star boy of this club, and he deserves all the success.
Yeah,
sure.
That's a sensational goal. And obviously, I need you to have your say on which one you think is your best, your favourite, whichever way you want to put it, out of the 3 goals. I'm going to go next, Abby. I'm going to save yours till last, OK? So I've gone for Callum Hudson-Odoi, who I think was absolutely instrumental in Chelsea's demolition of Norwich at the weekend. It's a brilliant goal, and it's also a very cultured finish. It's one of those, right? The ball from Kovacic is sensational. He's got a lot of time to think about it, and it's also one of them finishes as well that, running up to it, everyone knows he's opening his body up and tucking it in the corner. So it also almost makes it a harder finish because you've got to navigate when you're going to pull the trigger. You can't do it too early. The keeper's going to get a foot on it. You've got to wait. That
ball is actually ridiculous.
Oh, it's a fantastic.
That ball by Kovacic he's really added it to his game this season.
Proper pinpoint passes.
The assist and
brilliant.
One for Romelu Lukaku earlier, similar to that. It's a very cultured finish. It's a brilliant finish. So that's my favourite goal from the weekend. Abby, you've gone for...
Last but by no means least, this absolute beauty from Reece James. And look at that, a lovely pass there from Mason Mount. That dink! The audacity of it. I mean, it's like he's a striker. He's one of our defensive players. And for me, the celebration just as good as the goal. Look what it means to him. You know, a true blue, come through the academy, Chelsea through and through. There he is, celebrating with the fans at the bridge. But that one is something else.
It's the ankle,
what a goal.
He doesn't. There's no backlift. It's mid-stride. He just lifts.
Yeah, it makes it look effortless. That is such a difficult goal to score.
It's a phenomenal goal. It really is. Thankfully, we've got no one to pick because I don't think you can pick. But if you've got a favourite, do let us know in the comments below. And yeah, let us know which one of your favourite is. But they're all Cobham products. They're all Academy legends, and we're very, very lucky to have them. Let's move on to trending then, and someone that was very much involved in that, but is the main trend this week is Mason Mount, obviously.
Star boy, Ollie Mace.
I mean. We've done this show, right?
Every time.
We've done this show countless times where we go, how can you say Mason Mount is brilliant in another way? Because he's been sensational for so much. Chelsea's Player of the Year last year, Euro runner-up with England, Champions League winner, Super Cup winner, and he's, 21, 22, early 20s, captain Chelsea already.
Jesus.
Hat-trick on Saturday, his first one for the senior team. And you just look at him and you go, he just keeps getting better.
Yeah. Mason Mount, I've said it before, you just lose superlatives. You've got no superlatives anymore to say. He continues to get better and better, and I think this season, and maybe towards the end of last season, whereas Chelsea fans have always believed it, Chelsea fans have always believed Mason is a fantastic footballer and someone that's going to grow so well at this club and deserve everything that he gets. Other fans started to realise it, and that was whether they were rival fans or they also realised it as well when it got to the Euros and how important his role was there, because he does everything. He will chip in. He works for the team when it's about defending and putting in the hard yards and the running, which isn't easy, and the pressing again, which is not easy. And then he's doing this now and scoring hat-tricks. It's like, is there any... And getting assists for Reece James' goal. Like, is there anything he can't do? Like, I think it was a big statement for him to have maybe been dropped for that first game Thomas Tuchel took charge, and he quickly realised that, OK, Mason Mount needs to be playing every game. Like, he's so important.
What I like about Mason as well is he has the qualities, Abby, of like a luxury number 10. Like, his ability on the ball is frightening. His weight of pass, his vision, his decision-making is exceptional. And then he has the gritty determination of like a holding midfielder, you know? He leads the press, he leads by example. Then he's got the leadership qualities because he's captain the side already. And even his reaction, his celebration to the goals. He demands so much of himself. This is a player that's not only getting better, but also doing it at a football club where we as fans have put a lot on him early because we think that he could be the greatest player that we've ever produced.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot compared to the likes that have come through. But the ability he's got, the passion that he has for the football club and how proud he is to wear it. I mean, some of these goals we're seeing from the weekend,
they're all brilliant, aren't they?
All
absolutely brilliant. That's the thing, he's absolutely phenomenal. As Zach touched on there, he's not afraid to put in the defensive work either. As you say, he can, turn of shoulder, take on players, amazing at passing. He's just already kind of a complete player.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing to see where he goes in his Chelsea career, because I think the only criticism people had of him, as we know from rival fans, he doesn't score an open play or he doesn't have goals to his game. Silences the critics, goes on and scores a hat-trick, and as we've said, three wonderful goals.
The only thing I will say, poor penalty.
Shame about the penalty, that first one.
But
give him a second chance, smashes it.
But that's exactly it, Abby, and you were just touching on it there, but the mental strength, the goalkeeper saved it. There were players around him potentially that would have taken it if they wanted it. Not only has he stepped up, the goalkeeper's clearly said something to him because of the way that Mason reacts when he scores the retake. But the strength of character there to get up and take it again.
Yeah. That's the thing, he's got such a strong character, amazing mentality. He's definitely a future Chelsea captain, for me anyway. I can see that happening.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. And again, these photos as well, Ruben assisting Mason, and we were just having a chat off air. There's an amazing, touching video on Chelsea's Twitter. I think it's on the Fifth Stand and YouTube as well, about a couple of years ago, a bit of a throwback, and him saying to Mason about who do you look up to in the first team. He says Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
And look at them now.
And look at them now, and they're teammates.
It's really good to see that. I was just going to say, obviously, Ruben suffered a really bad ankle injury, and it was really good to see him kind of brave, seeing the keeper come out and taking one for the team and getting clattered, and obviously getting the assist for Mason. But the idea that Ruben, who's kind of the first generation of true great talent coming through Chelsea's academy, linking up with the next king in Mason Mount is very impressive.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Let's throw to a man then that's not only come through the academy but worked in the academy as well. Ben Andrews and Jason Cundy.
Came through it and, yes, indeed, coached back in the era we were just checking, actually. Josh McEachran, a bit of Nathaniel Chalobah back then. Trev's big brother. We might get a new one tonight in Harvey Vale, the latest recruit. If you don't know him, by the way, folks, he turned 18 earlier this season, actually scored on his birthday. Regular in the PL2 team, could still be playing youth team football, but tends not to because he's that good. Maybe a wing-back, maybe an out-and-out winger. He's also played up top in the PL2 side. But, Jace, we talked for so long about how, yes, John Terry, phenomenal, but where are the rest? They've come in a hurry, haven't they, since?
Well, they have, Ben, but I get the sense that maybe they have been there before and they've not been discovered and not given the opportunity. What we are witnessing right now is, I think, the work that Frank Lampard, Jody Morris, Joe Edwards have put into this football club, and I think we are now benefiting from their bravery. Also, I think the transfer ban aided that, but don't forget that Frank and Jody, and they took Tamori and they took Mace to Derby and gave them those opportunities and worked with them. I've spoken to Mason's dad. Mace had the pick of a number of clubs. He wanted to go and work for Frank Lampard. He had I won't say the clubs, but he had a multitude of clubs that he could have chosen from, not just in this country, across Europe, but he wanted to go and work with Frank Lampard. So he went to Derby. Tamori got Player of the Year. It was a successful season for them. Okay, they didn't go up in the season. They got beat by Villa in the player final that Tammy, of course, played, another youth product. But I think what we're looking at now is the bravery of Frank Lampard and Jody and Joe about putting these players in. And what we see now is Tuchel pick up that and carry it forward. You and I are both here for Tuchel's first game, Wolves at home, and Mace didn't start. What he did, Tuchel, and you can look back and say, OK, he's gone with the tried and tested. Mace, come on, with 20 minutes to go, was the best player on the pitch. Looking back, if you ask Tuchel, I'm pretty sure he'd say, do you know what, I wish I'd started Mace. Well, now look at him. Full international, regularly now playing for Chelsea, in Chelsea's best 11 whenever Tuchel picks it. Champions League final, we saw what he'd done there. But the reason I'm making these points is that the academy, that Neil Bath, Jerry Harvey, a number of all these people, Andy Myers, Eddie Newton, Damien Matthew, me, Jody Morris, all the ex-players have gone back and worked in the academy. Let me tell you now, this has been coming. This is not a surprise. This has always been there. What we're seeing is the opportunity and the pathway for these young men to see there's an opportunity now from the academy into the under-23s, maybe going out on loan up into the first team. And this is now becoming a regular theme.
Just to put some numbers on that for you, folks, Frank Lampard used 13 academy players. 8 of them he gave debuts to. 2 others had played once under Gus Hiddink. That was Tamori and Tammy Abraham. And then you had Ruben, Callum and Andreas Christensen, who already had played a bit more under various managers. The first 11 Premier League goals scored in Frank's first season were scored by academy boys. But it's not just about bringing them through here. If they don't make it here, you make careers. You maybe make a bit of profit on them. You look at the people who've gone, like Tariq Lamptey, Tino Livramento, who's on their bench tonight, who's been so brilliant for Southampton, or the ones who are still out there on loan and we might benefit from next year or the year after that. Conor Gallagher doing so well at Crystal Palace, and Armando Broja, who's not allowed to play tonight. Frank Lampard absolutely opened the door that a lot of other managers did not open. Those talents have always been there, but this is a pretty special crop.
Absolutely right, boys. Absolutely right. And just to back that up as well, because I was having a little read on this about the amount of players that have come through. There's a really cool survey that you can have a look at online. It's free to look at, and they judge all the big teams around the world and how much influence their academy and their development has on players. Chelsea, according to their formula of like difficulty of league, number of players produced, minutes on the pitch that they play, Chelsea got the 4th best academy in world football at the moment. Wow. And you're talking about up there with Real Madrid and Barcelona. Obviously, you go through the Spanish league and you're hard pushed to find a player that didn't come through one of those academies.
La Masia as well.
La Masia as well. PSG, I think, are 3rd on the list as well. And again, the Parisian development for footballers is staggering. So to put Chelsea in that bracket, and Zach, you spent a lot of time at Cobham. I know you filmed a lot of things down there, but the state-of-the-art facilities, the quality of coaches and stuff like that they've got. There's the development progress because of the way the club has set it up and the money and the time the club have put into that.
Yeah, for sure. I've been to a lot of other training grounds as well, and the best way I could put it is that Cobham's academy setup is essentially the same as the first team. And they've got a really nice thing where it's just so that you have the men's, like the first team's kind of training ground and their like facilities on the right, which is a little bit bigger, and then you have the academies on the left. And there's this thing that they say that it's about walking over to the first team's academy, the first team's facilities, and it's incredible with everything that they do. I mean, and it's from a young age as well. Like, not just obviously the level of football, but it's teaching football so much more now than just playing the game. It's about media training. It's also about obviously your education as well, and getting that there. And Chelsea have done so well into financing that and developing that and making it one of the best in the world, not just in the UK or England, one of the best in the world. And we're now seeing the fruits of our labours. I mean, like 15 years on or so, you're now seeing Mason Mount, you're now seeing Tammy Abraham, you're now seeing all these guys who have had the top quality coaching, which has also been from our own guys as well, in Jody Morris and Joe Edwards, develop into these fantastic players. And what's even a more amazing to think is it's only going to continue, and long may it continue.
Well, also, Abby, you know, like we've seen tonight already, I mean, they're not technically involved from the start, but Tino Livramento's on the bench for Southampton tonight. Armando Broja's on loan there. Can't play tonight, obviously, because he is on loan. But Tino Livramento especially has had a staggering start to the season. I think he's the first 18-year-old to start 5 Premier League games or something. And this is Broja we're seeing now. But
Livramento's been absolutely brilliant for Southampton. And then, you know, Conor Gallagher, who's won Player of the Month for the last 2 months, is basically the Conor Gallagher Award now, you know. That's the thing, that the Chelsea Academy are making an effect across the whole of the Premier League because it is that good. Cobham is where it's at, isn't it? It's world class.
He won Young Player of the Year last year, didn't he?
Tino did, yeah.
I mean, that was the thing. What's even crazy as well. Like I think if you ask any Chelsea fan how was Livramento going to do at Southampton, everyone would have told you amazingly. Yeah. Like, we all knew the quality he had, and there's still like a lot of respect between club and player, and you know, maybe one day he may return. We've supposedly got that buyback clause in as well, and yeah, I mean, it's nice to see other players, when they go and get their chance elsewhere, take it as well. Yeah. And Livramento's
and overseas as well, isn't it? Yes. You know, obviously Tammy Abraham knocking in goals.
Tomori as well with
Yeah.
AC Milan.
Exactly.
Like,
Do you know,
there's so many.
That's what I love, though, because we have this conversation as fans, but it happens all over on social media as well. I mean, look at some of these tweets as well. A lot of people getting very excited about the academy, rightly so, and you've got something to be proud of as well. I mean, imagine you're watching a football game and a member of your family is playing, which player you have a stronger attachment to. Chelsea Academy is a player full of our family. It's so true. We root for them because they are one of us.
Yeah.
You know, they feel the club they are. They're fans. It's so true. You know, and I mean. Look at this. Mason Mount, 3 goals, 1. We've all seen the picture of
This
them.
was on Norwich, yeah.
Yeah, this is against Norwich. We've all seen pictures of all of those boys in kits from 7, 8, 9 years ago, playing for the club at a tender young age.
And also, because they played together for years, it's almost like they have this telepathy, don't they? They know exactly where they're going to be because they've got years and years and years of playing together. Even someone like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's not been playing as much with Mason Mount, they've still got those years together. Yeah. So, you know, that assist, he knew what Mason was going to do, and Mason knew what he was going to do, and, you know, you see a beautiful end product.
And also, you understand the journey, don't you? You know, you understand the journey because you get... Ruben's a great example, right? He'd have been a couple of years above Mason, right?
Yeah.
But Ruben will know the journey that Mason Mount has had to make. And Mason Mount, like we said earlier, Mason Mount is making that journey because he sees someone like Ruben Loftus-Cheek achieve it. And it's like, they know what they're going through. So it's not a case of, you know, you come into a dressing room, you're trying to make personal connections. You know because you felt it. You've come from the same pathway.
I don't think people realise, well, how difficult it is. I think Mason said it in his interview at one point on the game on Saturday about how he would be in the car doing his homework on the way up to Chelsea and then when he's going back to Portsmouth after Chelsea training, he was asleep. Like, that's not easy to do. Meanwhile, I'm at home playing video games. Like, I don't know about what you, you guys, but it's like, it's not an easy thing to do. You commit so much of your time when you're a kid, which at times is it's just about, you know, having a laugh with your mates and all this, right? And you're committing your whole future to try and become a footballer. And for some of them, it doesn't happen, right? Yeah. There are a lot of footballers that don't quite make it, and that's still the thing with Chelsea. Yeah, exactly.
I'm still trying.
Yeah, so I'd like to think so as well. But there are a lot of footballers that are like. I think a lot of people would have said making it into this Chelsea team isn't easy, right? Chelsea are always trying to win the Premier League. They're trying to win the Champions League. And what Chelsea have been able to do now, and that is with the help of Frank Lampard and Thomas Tuchel, is get in these academy players, Reece James, Tammy Abraham last year, Mason Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi, win the Champions League with them and continue to do well. And it's about, OK, you've got a nice mix of bringing in great experience and great players from elsewhere, but also using this crop that you guys have spent 15, 10 years developing and still getting the best out of them, whether it be a Premier League title, whether it be a Champions League title. Yeah, and then exactly, it's just, something bad.
You're absolutely right. And it, you know, just to finish it, imagine, because it's difficult sometimes to imagine what it's to be like or to be sort of relatable to these footballers, because you know
only these guys will know as well.
Yeah, we as footballers, we see them as superhuman. Yeah. Let's have it absolutely right. But just imagine playing football with your mates that you've played football with for 10, 15 years, but you're no longer playing academy games. You're now playing in a Champions League final. It's frightening.
I think they're ball boys for a lot of these kids, aren't they? You know, while they're in the academy, so they're throwing. Well, there's that clip, isn't there, of Chalobah throwing on the ball and stuff.
Callum as well with Eto.
And here they are with their friends, like you say, competing for Champions Leagues, playing in FA Cups, playing in these huge titles, and it means the world to them. They're blue through and through. It
really does. Right, we're going to have to move it on because it's time for the quiz, and I know that you two would.
We have to.
We do in this.
Oh,
obviously, second time we've played Southampton this season. We played them only a couple of weeks ago in the rain here at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League. So
I do not remember it at all now.
Well, I mean, you're going to struggle here because I want the starting 11. OK? Starting 11. So, Abby, I'm going to start with you. Starting 11. I would suggest going through the team.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mendy.
Correct. Zach?
Mate, I barely remember what I ate last night for dinner.
You'll be fuming because it's fair. Yeah.
What? Can you tell me what the score was, please?
We won 3-1 in the rain here a couple of weeks back. Come on, Zach, man. We've had Edward
Mason Mount. You say he didn't play. OK.
Do you know what? No. I'm going to...
Came on.
He came on as a sub, so you can have a no, but you can have another go. That's your one life.
Aspilicueta.
Correct. Abby.
Oh,
I don't remember this game at all.
Chalobah scored, didn't he? So I'm going to say him.
He did. Scored in the 9th minute, the opener. Trevor Chalobah. Zach.
Oh, my Christ. Romelu Lukaku.
Of course,
sure.
Started up top, yeah. Abby.
Who would have been it? Kovacic?
Correct. Kovacic, yeah. This is good. It's not good. I've given you a bonus. It's not. It's 3 weeks ago.
Jorginho.
No.
What?
He came on as a sub, but you can't have two. Just not having it. So Edouard Mendy. Chilwell scored, Trevor Chalobah, Ben Chilwell, Antonio Rudiger,
I don't remember this
Thiago
game
Silva,
at all.
Cesar Azpilicueta, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Mateo Kovacic, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Romelu Lukaku and Timo Werner as well. So, yeah.
Was it at the bridge?
It was,
I just remember Chalobah's goal because that was his debut, wasn't it?
No,
it wasn't.
Crystal Palace
No,
was his debut.
sorry, no.
That was the first of 4 Ben Chilwell goals. And also,
was I here?
You weren't. I've just heard in my ear, Jason Cundy's livid with you, fuming.
Jace. Jace? All right. I have the memory of a goldfish. I can't remember
I
where
also
I
have a
was.
terrible memory.
No, don't help him out, Abby.
No.
Don't help him out. Let him drown.
Okay,
Right.
I understand.
All right.
I understand why I don't remember. I was at the festival.
Shocking. I'll tell you what, get your breaths back. Get your breaths back because now let's move on to Zach. We sent Zach out, not as a punishment. He was
Did you? Don't remember it.
This is...
Don't remember it.
This is the Chelsea confessional.
So I'm outside Stamford Bridge asking Chelsea fans if they've ever given an excuse or bunked off of a lesson, whatever it may be, to come to a Chelsea game. Now, my friend, what did you do?
I missed a couple of my university lectures in the past, so that's probably one of my downfalls.
Did we at least win?
Yeah, we did win, but I think we played Southampton, and we did win. So maybe today be a similar result, hopefully.
You didn't bunk off any today, I think.
No. I took a day off, so.
Perfect. How do you think the game's going to go today?
Yeah, I think we should win them in the 90 minutes. Hopefully not penalties, but who knows?
Now, obviously, it's an EFL Cup game. Normally, we've seen Chelsea play a bit of the academy guys. What do you think of the academy? And obviously, Mason Mount, Reece James, they've come from it. What are your opinions on it?
Yeah, so the foundations Frank Lampard has been amazing. I like Thomas Tuchel. He's quite trying to replicate Frank Lampard and bringing in players like I forgot his name.
It's all good. No, we got cut and keep going.
What's that centre back? Chalobah, and he's still keeping hold of Reece James and Mount in the core of the team. So that's what I like to see.
Amazing. Okay, so what do you think the score's going to be, and who's going to be your first goal scorer?
So I think Havertz is going to be the first goal scorer.
Okay.
And 2-0 Chelsea.
2-0. Amazing, mate. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, brother.
We've got another special one, in fact, that could have changed the entire outlook of Chelsea Football Club forever.
OK, so what excuses or reasons have you given for missing a game? Well, my dad, back in the late 50s, early 60s, when he met my mum, for the first date that they went on, my dad told my mum that he was ill and couldn't make the date. Where was he? He was over there in the shed. Stood in the shed, watching the game. Apparently it was a very cold day, so he stood there. I can't remember how Chelsea got on, but weeks later, he exposed himself by saying to her that he went to the Chelsea game, and she said, hold on a second, I thought you were supposed to be on a date with me. To this day, my mum still will not let him live it down.
Imagine a world where there's no Jason Cundy.
Be a lot quieter, wouldn't it? It'd be a lot less fun, though.
Ben Andrews wouldn't have a bruised right arm for every game.
Yeah.
Everyone's eardrums would be repaired. It would be a lesser place. So we are very pleased. I can't believe I'm saying this, but thank you, Jason's dad.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason's dad, for doing that. I mean, what a staggering story. You must have seen some bits out and about, but any you can think of quickly. Dentist is quite a regular one.
That was always a good one to get out of school. That little bit earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To get to the bridge to see a game.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Did I?
Actually, save it because we've got an early kick-off next week, so we might need to use them.
OK, cool.
Yeah. Let's not reveal them now.
Yeah, good point.
They need to seem genuine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll save a few. We'll put them in the chat if you've got one. Definitely put it in the chat. Let's move on to in case you missed it. Then time for this part. I suppose a lighter look on the show, and this one's a really nice one. You may have seen it, to do with Timo Werner.
I love this.
Not ending up with a sweep because I'll be honest. I've watched this a couple of times, and we've had a disagreement about it being an orange one or a yellow one. I think it's definitely orange, isn't it? It's definitely orange.
Yeah, he's not
But
clean.
look at Des Kelly behind, who is cracking up as well.
They're the good ones. I think they're quite nice. For me, I don't like the black wine gum.
Oh, the black currant.
Yeah,
the best.
other sweets are ale.
I'm with Timo. Just no to wine gums. Not a fan.
Really?
Give me Skittles or Starbucks. Loads of better sweets than wine gums. Come on.
I'm not sure about it because it's supposed to be sort of energetic, isn't it? As well, players out for energy boost. I'm not sure you need it when you're not involved, but at the same
So it helps
time,
with recovery.
Yeah, exactly. Help recovery. Here's another one as well, and it's fair to say that no one gets time off to sleep as a Chelsea player, do they? Because Kai Havertz certainly not getting this one.
Yeah. Anyway, they'll be out soon.
Yeah. Bench your wine gum.
No, you're all right.
No, do you want?
No, you're all right.
No, there's a couple of green ones,
No.
red ones.
No.
There's an orange. Come on, mate. Have a wine gum, mate.
Gantry cam there.
So he's not interested, is he, Ben?
Not interested.
BAFTA worthy.
That was
Honestly,
sensational.
BAFTA
That's
worthy.
it.
That was sensational.
Go and give him the award
Oh,
now.
my Lord. Oh my
That's the real relationship between Ben and Jason, by the way. They're not pals after all.
That was actually really good.
Very
was
good. I
amazing.
enjoyed that one. I mean, again, we'll get some more footage and stuff like that. Don't worry about it. But there's loads of stuff on social media that you see from Chelsea. But this is definitely one from Kai Havertz that we've seen this week. And have you ever been caught sleeping for a Chelsea game?
Not for a Chelsea game. But if I get caught sleeping and it's not during the night, people will come at me.
On Jorginho's story, this one, which is, I mean, look, immediately, when you're on another footballer's story...
There's too many jokes. If I woke up from a nap and I saw, Chilwell's taking a picture, I'm tagged in Chilwell's story, I'm tagged in Jorginho's story. There's too many jokers at Chelsea, honestly. They're all after each other, just looking to one up each other. It's ridiculous.
Here we go then. Right, not too far away from kick-off. Chelsea versus Southampton in the AFL Cup. Thank you very much for joining us. Stick around for live commentary on Chelsea next.